Kia ora tātou. 4 years ago, I woke up one morning and I couldn't move. Not a physical injury, just physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually exhausted. Couldn't do anything. It was one of those moments when you think, what's happening? My wife and 6 kids, who had never seen me like that before, were a little bit concerned. After the first couple of days of me wondering what the heck's going on here, we started to get a little bit concerned. Normally, I'm the kind of guy that just needs to sleep it off. After 24 hours, I'm good to go. Hardly ever had anything that kept me down for longer than that. Never been to the hospital for anything other than our kids' births, of course, and never really needed to go see GP. Those first couple of days, I thought, I need to feel productive, so I'm going to read some books and I'm going to listen to some podcasts, because that way I won't feel guilty for lying around doing nothing. The problem was, I lift the book, I'm too weak to hold it up. I listen to the podcast, I can't even concentrate on what they're saying. Fast forward to day 4, and my mind's starting to go in all kinds of crazy places. Is there something seriously wrong with me? Because this is just not me. Maybe I've got cancer. Maybe there's something seriously wrong with my brain. Or maybe it's something random like Lyme disease or something. I was getting pretty concerned. By this time, we'd dragged the mattress out into the lounge and I was staring at the ceiling, which was cool because then at least I feel like I'm part of everything that's going on, but not so cool because more people see me looking like I was, which was not great. You can imagine the kind of things going through my mind at this time. And so my loving wife, she says, maybe you should go see someone. And that would be a good idea. The problem though with knowing lots of stuff or learning about lots of stuff is that you think you know lots of things. And so she says, go and see a GP. I'm like, well, I've been a pharmacist before. I know medicines, I know side effects, I know what they're used for and when, I know best practice guidelines, I know a bunch of that stuff, and I kind of didn't really want to go there. Fine, go see a natural health practitioner. Well, I've been like a personal trainer before, I've done study in nutrition, I've got qualifications in psychoneuroimmunology, which is a stupid word for saying how your thoughts and feelings affect your actual immune system. I know energy psychology. I know a bunch of other stuff in Rongoa. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. Fine, go and see a coach or a counselor or something like that. Yeah, our business is actually coaching senior leaders in their well-being. And we do that in lots of places. We use the whare tapa whā and lots of holistic models. We tap into experts around the world. And I'm pretty familiar with the coaching process, so I'm not sure if that's going to work for me. By now, my wife's like, do what you want. And everyone's like, yeah, that's right. At this point, it's kind of day 8, and I'm thinking, is this really what my life is going to be confined to? Staring at the ceiling in my lounge for the rest of my life? Is there something actually seriously wrong with me? Do I really need to go and see someone? Who should I actually go and see? Is it just me being too prideful? Is this an opportunity for me to humble myself? A couple of days later, my wife gets me to go and see someone. Magically, I'm there at this place, and I'm listening, and I'm thinking, yep, great. I'm going to do that. Surprisingly enough, I go home and I do exactly what I've been told. And even more surprisingly, I gradually start to get better. After a couple of days, I'm starting to regain a little bit more energy. I feel like I can contribute a bit better. I'm feeling like after 2 weeks that actually I might be able to think about some stuff again, normally, and maybe I can do some more work. And that was not a cool experience. 2 weeks of looking at the ceiling in my lounge, having to think about a whole lot of things that I didn't really want to think about, and feel a whole lot of stuff that I didn't really want to feel. I was feeling super overwhelmed, super frustrated, and really like I was letting a whole lot of other people down. Letting down my family, letting down my business partner in our team, letting down all the people organizations that we were working with at the time, letting down all the people on the boards and trusts that I was sitting on, letting down everyone at the marae that I needed to support, letting down a whole lot of people. That wasn't a fun time. Of all of the insights I got from that 2 weeks, there was one that really stood out for me. I was doing all the well-being things, like honestly, if you name it, I was probably doing it. Exercising every day, eating all the nutritious stuff you're supposed to be eating, journaling my feelings, doing meditation, doing my good morning and night routines, having good sleep hygiene patterns, ... You get the picture. That was me doing all of those things. But there was one thing that I was not doing well. Stopping. I was not taking any time to rest, to rejuvenate, to recover. I was not doing anything that was letting me feel refreshed. And if I was doing any of that, it was when I had time, which I know most of you understand is in Neverary. It just wasn't happening. So here I am, feeling all of those feelings and wondering what the heck's going on. And during that time, that insight came to me, which was stop more often. Now, for a workaholic, you'll understand that's kind of difficult. That's not an easy challenge to just stop more often. And so when I thought about that, I thought, how can someone who has worked his whole life and never not had work and never actually really had a proper break actually take a rest? Especially when what's been passed down to me for generations on both sides of my family has been work hard for everything you get. And as some people talked about my grandparents, they worked from sunrise to sunset. How does a workaholic change to find a different pattern in life? Well, the thing that came to mind was start small and make it a pattern. And so that's what became what I call now the 15-3-1. What the heck is the 15-3-1? 15 minutes a day, 3 hours every week, and 1 day every month of doing something for yourself that is rejuvenating, refreshing, and actually re-energizing for you. Now, I get it. I know what you're thinking. How the heck do you do that when you're too busy doing all this other stuff and you've got all this other stuff going on and you're going to take a break and you're going to have a whole day off every month? It's ridiculous. 3 hours a week? No one's got time for that. Look, I get it. That's exactly what I was thinking. In fact, myself was saying to myself at the time, too busy for that. That's a stupid idea. And what would you do anyway? You don't even know how to take a rest. Valid answers. Valid answers. And so what I needed to learn was it takes a village. And so me reaching out for help was one of those things that I needed to learn. I much prefer helping other ones and helping everyone else and doing all that kind of stuff. But being helped, a little awkward. So I asked my wife. I reach out and say, can you help me to take some rest and rejuvenate better? And it needs to be like for 3 hours a week. And I need to go away and you need to book us something to do. Sure. Give me your credit card. That worked. Then I managed to make time for 15 minutes every day to just read and ponder and just slow down. That was a win. Then this whole idea of having a whole day, it's ridiculous. How am I going to supposed to? That doesn't even make sense, a whole day. There's so much to do. Again, ask my wife, can you help me to book in some stuff so then for this day I'm supposed to be resting? It worked for half a day. It took me months to get used to doing the whole day. But what I have realized, and my business partner will testify to this, is that I'm getting better at it. And it takes a lot of practice. And so even when, these days, when I'm not looking that great, and he can see it, he's like, oh, you need to have that day off that you're supposed to be having. Oh, yeah. 15 minutes a day, 3 hours a week, and 1 day a month. Look, by no stretch of the imagination have I got this down. I'm still the struggling guy trying to recover from being a workaholic and trying to take these kind of rests and be rejuvenated and refreshed. But what I do know is that that small, simple pattern has helped me to become a lot better at that, and I'm way further along the journey than I was before. Our oldest 2 kids now work in Australia. And the other week, they were calling us and they were saying, oh, there's people at work are starting to comment about how good we are at working, and they say, you guys work so well, you're just getting lots of work done, you don't moan, you don't complain, you just get all this work done, it's awesome. I hear that and I think, have we maybe passed on just the bit about working hard and not so much the rejuvenate and recovery? Because that's what it sounds like. And so immediately the learning comes into mind, I need to pass on this other bit about recovery and rejuvenation and resting and being restored. So that not only them, but my mokopuna and my grandkids can actually have that same experience. That work ethic's important, and so is being rested and rejuvenating so that you can be refreshed. The whakatauki that goes along with that is oranga ngākau, piki ngā waiora. If you're able to give your heart that space to rest and to be rejuvenated, everything else, your health, your well-being, your vitality, can be improved and increased. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.